Welcome back. You're watching 9 News. Moving on to Asian news. China said they had signed an agreement with North Korea on Tuesday during a visit to Beijing by a senior Pyongyang official in order to drive the economy forward together. Chinese government said in a statement that a management committee to oversee the electricity and agriculture zones would be established with North Korea. One is in Rason on North Korea's east coast and the other is in Honggampyeong on the border with China. It is believed that Chang Song-taek, uncle of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, was the one who had the influence to promote the deal. Meanwhile, BBC reported Japan announced it would hold government-level talks with North Korea for the first time in 4 years. The talks are expected to take place later this month. 2 more Tibetans set themselves ablaze in China to protest Chinese rule over Tibet. Including 3 previous protesters, there were 5 self-immolation cases in the last 10 days. A Tibetan source said Chinese police officials thrashed a Tibetan man to death, which induced the 2 monks to self-immolate themselves in Sichuan province. Chinese paramilitary police had once quickly moved in with extinguishers, but one of them was burnt to death and the other is in unknown condition. Multiple reports suggest that following the self-immolations, Tibetans began to demonstrate and the numbers quickly increased. Chinese authorities announced on Tuesday that China's most wanted fugitive gunman is dead. Zhou Kehua, one of China's most wanted criminals, was finally killed by police on Tuesday morning, ending a massive manhunt across the country. China Daily reported Zhou was eventually tracked down in Shapingba after his cave was discovered on Monday. A railway policeman and a woman was killed by Zhou last weekend. All the victims were shot dead. He had killed 9 victims since 2004. Before Zhou's death, China's Ministry of Public Security issued a 5.4 million yuan reward for information leading to his capture. Moving on to sports news. New Zealand's most successful Olympic team arrived back in Auckland to a Raptors welcome.
Families and fans packed the airport to welcome our heroes with cheers and congratulations. While some of the athletes have taken a break in Europe and elsewhere, the first group landed at 10 a.m. and the second at 11. The looks of pride and happiness, as well as the joy of seeing family again, sent the crowd into impromptu dancing and shouting.
Islamist extremists have targeted 2 Tunisian Olympic medalists for behavior and dress seen as un-Islamic.
The Islamic extremists on social media network sites asked the government to strip Habiba Ghribi of her nationality as her running gear failed to pass the requirement of the ultra-strict interpretation of Islam. Habiba Ghribi was the first Tunisian woman to win an Olympic medal, which was silver in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. This was followed by the gold in the marathon swim and bronze in the 1,500-meter freestyle swim to Osama Melouli. Tunisia is a moderate Islamic state, but since the Arab Spring last year is facing increasing pressure from fundamentalist groups.
Belarus say they will not give up the fight for Nadia Osapchuk's gold medal to be reinstated, despite the disgraced Olympic shot putter testing positive for a banned substance.
The 31-year-old twice tested positive for a banned anabolic steroid that is easy to detect and was used by a number of athletes in the 90s. Ostapchuk told the media that she was innocent and put her sudden increase in distance thrown, a full 1 meter, which is unheard of in shot put, down to hard training.
New words are being included in the latest edition of a dictionary. 2 of them are sexting and F-bomb. Not exactly the kind of words you would associate with a proper speech. So Christy Jar finds out whether the selection is inducing any WTF reactions.
Sexting I've never heard of. Is that part of the dictionary?
Well, yes. From today, sexting and many other words will be making their way into the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which released its new word list for the 2012 edition. Apart from sexting, the word F-bomb also made the cut, and it's defined exactly as one would think the euphemism for the F word. The new selections join a list of controversial words usually associated with teenagers and text messaging, including OMG and LOL. But it seems many people don't really have a problem with their dictionaries becoming more colloquial.
I think that means that they're being accepted into the general way that people talk, especially here in New Zealand. I don't use them myself. I might use oh my God if I really feel worked up about. I've never used OMG.
Yeah, if I know the meaning and I have the chance to talk with people, and if they are kind of using that kind of slang, then I will use it.
The Merriam-Webster dictionary has an online section where it invites users to submit words they think should be included in the dictionary. Words making the shortlist so far: glossophobia, meaning the fear of public speaking; fishitarian, a person who only eats seafood and veggies; and TWD, which is short for texting while driving.
Now moving on to our Happy Diner, introducing and reviewing your favourite restaurants in Auckland.
In Japan, eel is considered a luxurious food, succulent juicy piece of the long fish, on top of plump, fragrant white rice, can be dated back as far as the Edo period, where Japanese donburi can be seen everywhere in Japan.
像我们这边的客户群都是这附近上班。
Most of our customers work nearby. They like to eat light and nothing too greasy, so we tend to use less strong flavor seasonings into our food.
Grilling is said to be the best way to cook eels, and grilled eel is ought to be one of Japanese favorite dishes. The traditional eel don is grilled eel brushed with a sweet and salty marinade sauce, then served with rice. But today we are going to bring you a unagi don that you have never tried before. The chef first cuts the grilled eel into bite-sized pieces, then stir-fry vegetables with butter until fragrant and adds the eel pieces. Lastly, pours the secret recipe almighty sauce and egg paste so everything comes in an egg patty. What a great invention!
Speaking of the unagi don that we usually have, most people would be thinking a bowl of rice with a piece of unagi eel, but the eel don we're having today is something very special. Other than a piece of eel on top of the rice, there's also a variety of vegetables and egg paste, so the overall taste and texture is very rich and healthy.
这个鳗鱼盖饭呢，也是从其他的盖饭的。
We got inspired by other donburis and decided to make something different from the ordinary. The traditional unagi don has just a piece of unagi on top of rice, so we thought of adding some vegetables and egg in it, make it more interesting.
Now bringing you the weather forecast for the day. Thank you for watching today's 9 News. I'm Ada Cho. See you tomorrow.